necessities, including rents, which pushes them into homelessness, even though they are being employed. About social actions, we hope we can make a positive impact on society. First, we'll create a video discussing the negative labels that the public often attaches to homelessness. And we'll upload it to Instagram. And later on, we'll check the audience reactions and the feedbacks from them to see whether our message is getting across. And second, we plan to phone interview with charities to better understand the homeless situations and to understand the experiences and the situations.
We aim to change the public's discrimination against the homeless. They suggested that we could use a persuasive approach. For example, we can interview the homeless charities. Since there are already many videos interviewing the homeless people, the organizational perspective is less representative than the public and the homeless themselves. However, there is also a problem. We can't tell whether they have changed their mind. So we will interview them or have them fill out the forms a few weeks later.
These are our simplified prompts. Overall, we see improvement. They can find do's and don'ts while filming the videos. Moreover, a professional email to contact the organization. Next, a simple structure for the reel and 10 hashtags following the reel. And a follow-up survey and Google Sheet template. These are the sales suggestions we get from AI. First, the overall suggestion AI gave us is one reel 3-star close. Record one line with consent, hashtags, impact metrics, and canvas chain. Next, it gave us 5 do's and don'ts while filming the video. Moreover, we require an email draft, a professional email draft for inviting the organization. Furthermore, a simple structure of the reel is provided by AI hook, including hook, forward, and call to action. Next, 10 effective hashtags for the Instagram reel. Let's now list a follow-up survey and a simple Google Sheet template.
For AI suggestion, we keep some ideas for some are not suitable for college students with the time. For peer suggestion, we changed our initial plan to interview the organization that have homeless rather than volunteer to help the homeless by ourselves. We also include VA questionnaires to ensure we included their thoughts. This is our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so please take about 30 seconds to give reminders, okay? Reminders to this group. We're going to interview homeless charity organizations, okay? All right, next group. Which group? Next group? Okay.
And we also distribute online for the people to let them express their ideas. The reason why we take this action is to know more about current people ideas, not just relying on the statistics online.
Next, I'll talk about suggestions we received from our peer group. First, broaden the survey distribution beyond the freshman line group. Sharing it more widely will prevent our answers from being too much alike and ensure we reach a broader student audience. Second, set up a reward system. A prize or incentive will make people more willing to spend their time filling out the survey, helping us gather information more quickly. At best, they recommended we add staff tourist work to our interview locations. This can expand our scope beyond areas like Xinyi and Ximen, making our project more comprehensive.
Next, we seek for AI's help. Our prompt is we want to interview random people about whether marriage represents happiness. Please give us some recommendation. And AI over 11 questions plus extra question for us. We want to choose 7 questions from its suggestion and add to our interview. And we delete some questions that are too personal or not related to the topic. Also, we asked about social actions. The prompt is, after completing the interview, we want to do something that can create social change. Please give us some recommendation. And AI gave 3 recommendations for us. First one is publish survey result. Second is happiness full activity. Third is creative output. All of them have meaningful social impacts, and we decided to refer to its suggestion.
During our podcast, we have received suggestions from our peers and AI. And after discussing, we have adopted our peer suggestions for two suggestions. So the first one is not only post our link to freshman group, because we didn't realize that if we post the link only to the freshman group, it will cause our data would be too limited. So after the remind, we will not only post the link to freshman group, we will also post a link to other group like senior group, so that our data can be more diverse. And the next suggestion is not only go to Xinyi and Ximen, because these 2 places are mostly full of young people, and they share that first part have more older people, so we can collect a wider range of data. And besides their suggestions, we also have adopted AI one's suggestion is not only interview, because not only interview will be too boring, so we can add an interactive activity so that we can not only make our social action more interesting, but also can let us know more about strangers' ideas. And it's questions time, so I have anyone any questions?
Okay, so I think they will give you comments and feedback. Okay, thank you very much. So please give comments and feedback and reminders to this group. This is group. Okay, this is group 2, all right? Group 2.
First, we're going to talk about social political problems with smartphone use. One issue is phone addiction, which affects daily life and mental health. And smartphone can also weaken relationships, as people focus more on screen than real conversation. And even worse, long screen time may cause nearsightedness. From our group investigation, we learned to hear different viewpoints and work together to make our idea clear.
I'm going to introduce our group's social action and how it responds to the social political issue of smartphone overuse. First, we will use the questionnaire to identify students and elderly people who may show signs of smartphone addiction. The questionnaire includes dependence and screen time, daily screen time, and emotional reaction. So it helps us clearly to see who might be overusing their phones. And then we will raise their awareness by explaining the psychological and social impact of overuse. And then we will ask them to check their screen time for a week after receiving our suggestions. And so this action responds to the social political issue by challenging the idea that constant smartphone use is normal, encouraging people to reflect on how technology shapes their habits and empowering them to take back control of their digital habit.
So for our social action, we plan to make a poster and interview people. And Group 5 gave us 3 suggestions for the social action. The first suggestion is to use more images instead of long paragraphs of text. We also believe that visual effects can catch the audience's attention more quickly. The second suggestion is to collect contact information from participants. This will help track the results more effectively, and it also allows us to see whether our action made an impact or not. And finally, they suggested that we use simple and clear slogans. Short slogans are easier to remember, especially when people only glance at the poster for a few seconds.
And beside our peers' help, we also decided to take AI suggestion. And the prompt that we are using is basically we first introduce ourselves, who are we and which department are we from, and which class do we take. And we also mentioned about the social action that we are going to make. And we asked them if we asked AI if it could help us to give suggestions for improving our poster design, clarity, and visual storytelling, and the additional statistics, and the stronger key messages or slogan. And the way to ensure our poster reflect the critical literacy principle and possible social impact outcome. And we also asked if it can help us to have many more of the creative ideas to improve our project. And these are the suggestions that AI gave us, respectively. The first one is the poster design and the poster specific recommendation. And follow-up is how to reflect critical literacy in our poster and possible social impact. And the last one is I asked if it had any idea to make our project become better. And after those suggestions from our peers and the AI, we decided to focus on the poster design part first, because we realized that the poster design is our foundation of the entire social action project. So we took the recommendation from our peer is using the images instead of text. And we also use a simple slogan. kind of familiar suggestion with our peers. And it also suggests our title should be big and bold, and it plays the most important message on the top of the poster, like think before you scroll. These are our top message. And we use the image to reflect the effect, the impact on overuse smartphone. And these are the drafts we made after we received all the suggestions from AI and our peers.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. And you are through 6. Okay, so please give comments and feedback reminders to group 6. Okay, so our next group is group 3. All right, so let's welcome group 3. Okay, so let's welcome group 3.
Hello everyone, we are Bruce, and today our topic is perspectives on sanitary pay subsidies. And my name is Winnie.
My name is Katie.
My name is Tony. I'm Boy and she is Joey.
And this is our outline.
Our social issue is the menstrual product subsidy. We look at it from different perspectives: supporters, opponents, disadvantaged groups, the government, and schools. From this project, we realized that one single policy can create different opinions depending on people's positions and experiences. Public policies is not just about money and how it's carried out. It's also about who actually benefit from it. The menstrual product subsidy really improves the quality of life for some people and helps us understand the importance of gender equality.
And next, I'm going to talk about the part of social action. We decided to make free pet take boxes and put them in several of our schools' public toilets. And we will also made a poster with 2 QR codes. One is for questionnaire. We will use Google questionnaire and to ask about what is people's idea and how much they know about the pet subsidies. And the other QR code is about the information that you scan it and can link to the website that is about subsidy policy.
At the beginning, we decided to go to Ximen or Gongguan, where many people are there, to hang out the questionnaire and interview people to know their opinion. And Bruce Boss suggests we can set free tag boxes in our toilets so that people can take a free one if they need.
In our project, we mainly use AI to make our social action more clear and organized. First of all, we asked AI about how to make the users have a deeper understanding about
To begin with, I will talk about how we learn from the result-oriented culture in Asia. And the first one is that success is not limited to measurable outcomes, because just living a happy life is also a success. And in addition, we should dismiss stereotypes from society and pursue our ideal career and focus our own lives. And finally, we should value the process instead of the rare results, so that we can enrich our lives and keep us motivated better.
So after exploring the issue of result-oriented culture, we have come up with the following 3 social actions. We will conduct our social actions in NTUSD during lunchtime and in front of the main gate of NTU from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. First of all, we will distribute quarterly handwritten cards to encourage and support the receivers who may be under stress. On top of that, we will also set up a large complaint board so that people can express their feelings through pasting stickers. Lastly, we will design an inspiring poster for an online post and a physical copy. As for the online post, we will post it on our Instagram account. For the physical copy, we will bring it to our social actions to attract more publicity.
And we'll have a video after our social action, and this is our video outline. In the first 1 minute of the video, we will have a short play to as our introduction of the video, and we want to let people better know. We want to let people better know what we're going to do in our social actions and what we're going to say in our essay. And the second part is the interview. We want to have some interviews on the people who join our social actions after they stick the stickers and write something on the contact board. We want, in our social actions, we want to help them to release the stress, pressure, and anxiety. And the last, we'll have reflections to let people know what we learned from this activity.
As you can see, these are 3 suggestions we received from our peer groups, and groups suggest that we can conduct our interview during the lunchtime, so we can, conduct more ideas and also save our time in such a crowded place. So they will be more available to join the club. And secondly, we can create an Instagram account for recording our actions and poster. Actually, we did create Instagram account for it, so that we can let other people follow our Instagrams. And last but not least, they also suggest that we can add more illustrations and slogans on our poster to decorate our poster and make it more inspiring and touching. And basically, next part we're going to talk about the suggestion we received for AI, and this is our part, as you can see.
And this is the suggestions about our social action from the AI for the 5 aspects for participation, conference board, visibility, engagement, impact tracking, and the online follow-up. And this is the adjustment that we did the suggestions from our peers and the AI. First, we change the time into lunchtime, and we'll play some soft music during the period to better invite people to join us. And we created an Instagram account, and we'll share some anonymous notes and reflections to make more people know about us. And we will put some illustration and inspiring slogans on our poster. Finally, we will divide our conference board into 2 parts. One is stress and the other one is hope. Thank you.
Good one. Okay, so please give comments and feedback and also your reminders to your 5. Very good time management.
conversation between different generations to explore different generations thought on having children and pets. We will go to a public place and invite two participants from different age. For example, one adult, young adult who prefer raising children instead of having, who prefer raising pets instead of having children, and the other one is the older individual who has already established his family and have children, and then we will guide them into a short conversation on the topic of children versus pets or their thought on global declining birth rate. And we hope through this activity we hope to see that how generational thoughts will shape people's decisions and might help them better understand the social values between the global declining birth rates. And we also want to see that this activity will encourage the participant and the people around them to reflect on their own perspectives.
The feedback we received from other group focus on three main suggestions. First, they recommend and when the discussion becomes too intense between two participants, we should have someone as a facilitator to help mediate and keep conversation respectful. Second, they suggested creating a board creating a board to collect real data and show how different generations feel this issue.
What is interesting?
Also to make sure more engaging and advanced case. Finally, they suggest advice designed to a small interactive and after the finally conversation. This help participants more relax connect with each other and in the session on the positive note.
Our social action is conversation between different generations, and in our original plan, we wanted to interview young people and older people with opposite views about children and pets. And after receiving feedback from other groups, we realized that the conversation might become too more emotional or turn into an argument. So we decided to include a neutral mediator who can guide the discussion, keep it balanced, and make sure both sides share their ideas respectfully. And we also designed a public voting board where people can use loudspeakers to vote on or research for or against having children or pets. And this helped us collect public opinion from in a simple and interactive way.
Alright, let's go through this quickly. Suggestions we got from ChatGPT. I put everything up here so that we can see how diverse and how ChatGPT gave us a lot of suggestions. This was in a folder that we created at the beginning of this class. It has all the information that from our research from what we did before. So all I had to really give the prompt was I had to give specifics on what our social action is and what we wanted to do and what suggestions we want. So some interesting ones we got were structured perspective swap conversations. So conversations where you talk about stuff from your opposite person's perspective, so that you can step in their shoes and see it from their side. Now these were the rest of the suggestions that we got, and yeah, basically it was very diverse.
to grow. Okay, now let's welcome the four.
Good morning, everyone. We're group 4. Today we're going to use our action plan proposal, helping social trouble voicing cultural trouble. The cultural trouble we found is the social gap between local and international students. Both of them tend to stay with people from the same cultural backgrounds, and the situation called Erasmus bubble. The Erasmus bubble will create stereotypes and keep them from connecting with each other. So to break the stereotype and build a connection, we propose several action plans.
And now let's talk about our suggested social action. To better understand the opinion and situation of both international student and Taiwanese student, we will conduct a survey to get their experiences and suggestions regarding the social separation they encounter with on the campus. And after the implementation of the service, we will invite around 10 people who would like to communicate with others from different culture and background to our socializing activity. And the activity will be held in the TUST. And during the activity, they can get to know each other through icebreakers games and exchange the ideas and their feeling they share on the Google form with each other. By doing so, they can deeply understand the truth and the reason behind the social separation and motivate them to break the boundaries during the communication. And finally, we will interview our participants to understand the change of their opinions after our social activity and promote the further communication and interaction.
So we have discussed with two groups and professors. Group 3 suggests that students can use translator when they encounter language barrier problem. And Group 7 thought that we should aid a more reflective activity rather than just holding a gathering and asking questions. And professors believe that limiting the number of the participants can help students have a deeper communication and have deeper understanding of different culture. And both Group 3 and the professors think aiding the icebreaker game can reduce the separation at the beginning.
So this is the prompt that we use to ask for AI suggestion, and it's broken down into 3 parts. The first one is the background, second one is the key information, and the last one is the task that we give to AI. So we didn't really conclude that much detail about our social action. We only include how we want to do it in peers for the participants, and also that we want to conduct a mini game. We do this because we wanted to know AI's pure suggestion without any interference from our opinion. And as it turns out, AI suggestion is actually pretty similar with our own. So with AI's help, we actually are able to validate our own opinion, and these are the suggestions that AI gives. It's separated into 5 parts: the activity, survey, data collection, outcome strengthening, and also implementation tips. And highlighted parts are the ones that we have actually already thought of.
So based on the suggestions from the AI and peers and also the professor, we have to know there are a lot of diverse suggestions, but there are some suggestions too imaginary. And on the other hand, there are some suggestions we can take into the implementation. So let's see. First, we want to create ice breaking. So creating the ice breakings can make the both international students and local students feel not really awkward or nervous when they first participate in gathering. And secondly, we want to apply Google Translate. Just like what we said before, the Google Translate application can allow both international students and the local students to break through the language barriers by themselves. And finally, we want to limit the number of the participants. By doing so, students from both different kinds of backgrounds can share the deeper topic and share the deeper history. So these are what we need to do after we listen to the peers, the professor, and also the AI suggestion. So this is overall our project, and if you have have any questions, you can feel free to give the feedback or questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Group 4. Okay, so once again, please give comments and feedback. Feel free. All right, Professor Lee feels like I'm giving her assignment, okay? But I think we want to have further feedback, okay?
You know, just to say something. I never just sit there. Okay. First of all, I enjoyed all of your presentations. All the topics are very social related, very, very important to our society. And I believe that you yourself have learned a lot from doing research on your own topics, right? And the first one was, I have to say, sorry to the first group because I was just sitting down and I wasn't really settling well myself. So I think I'm missing some information, but I believe that this is a great topic, right? If I have time, I really like to know more. And then all the topics like marriage equals happiness, or using phone addiction and sanitary product, all these till the very end. Okay. All these, I would like to invite you, if you are willing, that after doing this project, I invite you to submit your projects to the GE Center 通识教育中心, because we will be promoting social actions, social practices, right? English is just a medium for you to do things, to communicate, to connect people, but your titles are all very welcome because they're so relevant to social practices, right? So I'm inviting you. Probably you cannot join the competition this year, but next year, 社会实践博览会. I'm willing to get promotion for GE Center. Okay. And also, I understood that you gain ideas not only from within the group, the discussions, investigations, you get opinions from peers, professors, and as well as AI, right? But I think I would like to, the only one suggestion that I want to give after listening to hearing all your presentations is, what is the rationale? Probably it's because of the limited amount of time that you are given to give the presentations. First of all, how are you going to let your participants or target audiences to understand your rationale? Why we're doing this? It takes time, right? Okay. For example, you want to interview people, you want to do interactive games. That's icebreaker game, that's all very good. But I think I would like to hear, if I am invited to see your final project presentation, I hope I can be here at the end of the semester. I would like to hear your rationale, your motivation. Okay. In other words, is why are you interested in this topic? What problems, what issues that you have observed? Okay, you must be inspired by something you have seen. You must have felt something, right? So you have this motivation to explore into it, right? And and I'm also very happy to know that your language, the way you presented
the language you use in your presentation. It's very good, you know, like the meta language. What is the meta language? Meta language is the corpus we use in a certain area. When you are using, this is critical literacy, right? You use a lot of words that probably, Gloria, you have taught them well. You know, the reason why to do this project is to empower people, okay? You like to, you know, raise people's awareness in order for them to have critical reflection, right? So all these are the terms we call meta language in a certain scenario, in a certain situations. Use all these terms very, very properly and well, okay? I do appreciate that you invited me to have the